Ethylene oxide, also known as EtO, is one of the most effective sterilising agents in the world. It's used to decontaminate medical equipment, lab supplies, and sensitive materials that can't be heat sterilised. But EtO is also a toxic, flammable, and carcinogenic gas. In today's video, we'll take a close look at where EtO is used, the health risks it poses, exposure limits, detection methods, and how to monitor it effectively in any facility using sterilisation gas. Ethylene oxide is a colourless gas with a sweet, ether-like odour. It's a powerful alkylating agent, meaning it disrupts the DNA of microorganisms, making it ideal for sterilisation. EtO is used to sterilise single-use medical devices like syringes, catheters, and surgical kits, pharmaceutical packaging, lab equipment, some spices and dried foods in the food industry, and electronics and optics that can't be sterilised by heat or radiation. While EtO is effective, it's also extremely hazardous. It is classified as a Group 1 carcinogen by the International Agency for Research on Cancer, mutagenic. It can damage DNA and highly flammable and reactive. Short-term exposure can cause irritation to eyes, skin, and respiratory system, headaches, dizziness, nausea, and breathing difficulties. Long-term or repeated exposure can lead to increased cancer risk, particularly lymphoma and leukemia, reproductive health effects, neurological symptoms, and chronic respiratory illness. In the UK, ethylene oxide is strictly regulated by the Health and Safety Executive under EH40 2005. The workplace exposure limits are an 8-hour time-weighted average of 1 ppm or 1.8 milligrams per cubic metre and a 15-minute short-term exposure limit of 5 ppm or 9.1 milligrams per cubic metre. These limits reflect how toxic EtO is, even at very low concentrations. That's why continuous, accurate gas detection is essential wherever EtO is used or stored. Ethylene oxide, or EtO, is typically detected using photoionization detectors, also known as PIDs, or electrochemical sensors that are specifically tuned for ethylene oxide. There are two main approaches to detection. First, we have fixed gas detection systems. These are installed around sterilisation chambers, storage areas, and HVAC ducts. They provide 24/7 area protection and automatic alarm triggering. Second, we have portable detectors. These are used by maintenance and safety teams to check for leaks, validate EtO exposure, and conduct area clearance checks after a sterilisation cycle. Detectors should be set to trigger alarms well before the short-term exposure limit, or STEL, is reached. Ideally, they should have tiered alerts, including pre-warning, evacuation, and shutdown levels. EtO detection needs to be strategic. Critical monitoring points include around EtO gas cylinders or bulk tanks, near sterilisation chambers and off-gassing rooms, in ventilation and exhaust systems, at entry and exit points and degassing zones, and in personnel breathing zones during chamber maintenance or reloading. EtO is tightly regulated for good reason. Here's how to manage the risk: use dedicated EtO gas monitors and calibrate them regularly. Ensure airflow and ventilation is sufficient in exposure zones. Implement leak detection protocols for cylinders and connections. Always wear appropriate PPE, including chemical-resistant gloves and eye protection. Install extraction fans and alarms connected to detection systems. Train staff in evacuation procedures and emergency first aid related to EtO exposure. After a sterilisation cycle, areas may still contain residual EtO gas. Never assume it's safe to enter without proper measurement. Portable EtO monitors should be used to confirm concentrations have fallen below 1 ppm and ideally near zero before re-entry is authorised. Ethylene oxide is essential for modern sterilisation, especially in healthcare and manufacturing, but it's also a gas with serious health consequences, even in small amounts. With the right monitoring tools, PPE and procedures, EtO can be used safely without compromising worker health or regulatory compliance. Don't cut corners, detect, respond and protect. Thanks for watching. If your facility uses EtO, make monitoring part of your everyday safety culture. For more gas safety guides, detection solutions, and compliance support, subscribe to our channel and reach out to our expert team today